Welcome to tonight's meeting, the Armada Village Council. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll take roll.
Shaw.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Coleman.
Here.
Adair. Here. Belkey.
Yes.
Sturt.
Yes.
Garza. Yes.
Okay. We have a chance to review the agenda, and I have a motion.
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion by Clark, Shaw. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion's approved. Citizen comments. Are there any citizen that would like to speak to the council?
You state your name.
Yeah, if you would,
Yeah.
please stand up, state your name.
I'm Megan Jantamarian, and I just was curious what the timeline is for my neighbor on Floral Street, who they have a building that has been sitting there since October with nothing touched to it. I don't see a permit there. The weeds are literally as tall as me. The backyard is gross, like I've had to spray my yards because there's bugs, there's animals. I'm trying to raise my kids next to this. Like, just curious what the timeline is. The owner's son was there yesterday and kind of weed whacked the front-ish. I say that because there's still weeds as tall as me in the front yard. Just throwing that out there. Just curious what the timeline is on that.
Do you know the address of his house?
I do
Is
not.
there anything else? I don't know that we can give you a timeline, but if he doesn't get things cleaned up, and probably doubtfully that he will be ticketed. And then after that, goes through court, man, if he don't clean it up. As far as the building, that permit has about run out, and it should be stapled on the front. And that's about all I can tell you right now.
Right, I was just curious, there's no ordinance against what he's doing, cause I can't put sticks out to my road, but he
No.
can do that.
He's in violation, and the code, our code enforcer should have did something on that before, but we can't go backwards, but
Sure,
we do have things in process.
okay, I was just curious. I'd like to see some progress,
Yeah, that's an eyesore.
right? Like, I've done a ton of work to my house, I would like to see.
Your place looks great.
Yes, your place does look
Thank you,
great.
appreciate it,
And
yeah.
I'm wondering the same thing.
right? Like,
Is there anybody else that would like to speak?
The same thing?
he agrees.
It's a great answer.
Kevin, Bob, Patty? Okay. We have no,
So thank you, though.
oh, you're welcome. We have no presentations tonight. Administrative reports. Ross, why don't you start tonight?
Been thinking all day about how I rack and stack all this stuff. All right, I do have several issues. We have talked before about the issue with easement, issues holding up the water line project for the wastewater treatment plant. Jeff Paul from Rowe and I have been through this a few times. We've completed a legal description, survey and legal description. There's a concept plan for the water line, and Jeff has done a cover letter which we have sent to Paul Zook at the county on Thursday requesting easement for the property, and that's access to the service drive, maintenance of the trailhead, and public utility easements as necessary for the wastewater treatment plant. So that has been submitted. I have not received any note back from Paul Zook at this point. I will hit him up next week just to make sure he's got it, sees it, and that he's working it. He has indicated that it might be complicated, so I doubt very much I'm going to get any physical construction done on that project this year. But we do want to get the easement resolved, easement issue resolved, and do the preparatory work for, soliciting for bids and getting an actual vendor get teed up for construction next year. So, any other questions? Jeff, do you have any other comments on that?
No, it's it's going to take a little bit of time working through the county approval process, but we have a good first step based on what we submitted, and obviously we'll keep you up to date when we hear back.
Yeah, I think it's, the paperwork looks very good. What we're asking for makes common sense. We're just not quite sure what the county's perspective on it is. We're going to try to find out as we go here. As council knows, I submitted last October 16th our CDSMI to Eagle. That is our complete distribution system material inventory of the composition of our water lines from our water main into residences or businesses. But we made some amount of assumptions there because the village did not have necessarily in all cases good paperwork on, or prints on what the composition of these lines were. As council knows, we did some additional hydrovacing this year. We've completed that, and so I'm getting ready to submit a CDSMI update to Eagle. The big questions are, how many lead connections do we have to the water main, and how many galvanized lines do we have? Essentially, the state has said we will repair all of that at our cost. There is a ticking clock on it. We're 5 years into a 20-year timeline. We've done some small amount of replacements, but nothing significantly, pending completely understanding what our water distribution system is comprised of. I think I'm there now. I don't need to do any more investigation. And these are just rough numbers. I just physically need the time to go back in and have 2 minutes to sit down and evaluate the data. But it appears that we have between 11 and 13 potential lead connections. 1 or 2 are actual. The others are guesses. For example, in some cases, we really don't know because you can't physically get to the curb stop due to root encroachment. So at this point, we're gonna dig it up, and I'm reluctant to dig anything up because it's gonna cost $4 to $5 grand to dig it up. But in the cases of these lines, we're gonna dig them up and we're gonna see what we have. We do have a small, very small number, which is good news because last October we could potentially have had a lot more because we were making assumptions. Again, the problem with assumptions, if you don't really know, then you got to dig it up again at $5-6 grand per water line. So we're down to 11 to 13 now, which is great. We have between 40 to 42 galvanized service lines connecting what we call the curb stop or shut-off valve that's out generally by the sidewalk in most cases with the inside of the residence. In some cases, it's a galvanized copper line or a plastic galvanized line. If it's got any galvanized in it, we have to replace it. Again, it's at our cost. So 40 to 42 is a number we've come up with. I'm quite confident in these numbers because we've been looking at it for 3 years, but it's been a lot of work to get here. The next step is in the budget next year, we will start budgeting for replacement of these lines with the lead lines or presumed lead lines as the priority, and any of those lines that are connected to galvanized, and we have 2 of them. If I touch one, I gotta touch the other. So there's a process I have to follow. So that's what we're gonna put on the docket for next year, and then we will, after that, start chasing these galvanized lines. And I'll be working with Roe to establish a plan to do that and a general cost to do it. If you've been paying any attention to the news, Wyandotte a month or so ago had what's called a Water System Sanitary Survey. That is a comprehensive review by Eagle of your water system. And Wyandotte, about 12,000 residents, they got some money out there, had a shot fired across their bow. They are, we're very close to being taken over by Eagle for nonconformance to a number of the water requirements that are out there. We had our survey last Monday. They were out here for 5 hours, toured all our facilities, looked at our paperwork. I spent a couple hours on the phone with them this morning. My initial assessment is we did pretty good. I would expect some recommendations by Eagle. Recommendations are suggestions that we should do things based upon best practices or known issues that they've seen in the past. What we don't want is, what's the word now? Not going to remember the word that I need. Anyway, there's a term for something that is a flagrant violation and you need to fix immediately. I don't think we have any of those. I've not gotten any indication that we have. So I think we did well just in talking with those guys. We should get a report within a month. We'll share the report with council. I want to say the word is deficiency that I couldn't come up with. Deficiency or a recommendation. So I do not believe we're going to get any deficiencies. However, it's possible. We're already taking steps to fix issues that they have indicated to us. So Dave Wagner and I are on it. Some of this stuff we just flat out don't know. So, but these are good. I don't look at these as nuisance investigations. These are really intended to help make the water system better. So I've got a generally good feeling about it. We'll see what happens in 30 days. So that was last Monday. Tuesday, we got a call from Eagle that indicated we had a significant nitrate violation in the village based upon sampling results. So I've spent the balance of the week working on that. That was potentially a water system shutdown for the village. We dug into it immediately and ascertained that there was a laboratory error, and we have no nitrate problem here. We've had years and years of zero nitrates testing and the records to prove it. And so we had a spike. But Eagle's doing their job. They called us on it, and we went out and did a confirmation sample over the weekend. Did not have to shut the water system down because we were confident it was an error, and it turned out to be a laboratory error. The problem here, in my mind, is that we hire a vendor, a contractor to come in and protect us from this stuff by doing water sampling and testing. They're supposed to advise us of adverse issues, and so I kind of got blindsided Monday with the call. We have, and you have paperwork on in front of you, we have a Tier 1 violation. So the tier 1 violation is their most significant violation, but it's a violation relating to process. F&V did not go back and, seeing a bad sample, did not go back in and reconfirm within a certain period of time. And so that winds up with, that gives us a Tier 1 violation with a $200 fine. And there's a mandatory 24-hour turnaround to get notice to the public. So the public should be getting in the next day or two letters from the village. That's this page, which says drinking water warning, but it indicates here that this is not an emergency. No traces of nitrate were detected in the water supply. So again, it's a process issue, but Eagle is trying to make sure the public is fully aware nowadays of the condition of their water, and should expect their water to be clean and safe. And in this case, ours is, but we, F&V and I did not follow the process. So I've had a discussion with F&V, because this is the 4th violation now that we've had with F&V. We've had several Tier 3 violations. We're not as egregious. You still have to notify the public, no fines. It's because somebody didn't do something in the timeline according to what Eagle requires. This one was a much bigger one, because we had 2 weeks to go back and say, hey, we've got a spurious water sample. We need to go back and check it out. We're going to do that. We're going to take another sample. And we didn't do it. Our water guy didn't do it. What makes it all the more interesting is there's an agenda item tonight where I'm going to recommend we continue their contract. So I have told F&V, it's pretty embarrassing. I have told F&V you're going to pay any fines, and they're prepared to do it, that you're going to apologize to the village council for doing this, because I said, if we can't trust you, then we're going to find somebody else. So it's a trust issue. I told them they're going to come and talk to the office staff and apologize to the office staff, who had to drop everything Friday and start making envelopes so we could get this out within 24 hours. If you don't get it out within 24 hours of the report notification, which is tomorrow at about 10 o'clock, it's another $200. And F&B didn't want to pay that, and my thanks to Michelle and Ann and Becky, because they got everything out today in the mail, so we will avoid that. But disappointing of F&V, because that's what they're here to fundamentally to protect us from, is these types of issues. And if they see a sample that's a high reading, they're supposed to immediately contact us. First I heard about it was Tuesday, right after the WSSS, which was stress producing in and of itself. So the bottom line here is notices have gone out. We'll get an invoice for the fine. F&V will pay it. I will handle all that. There is no emergency. It's a bad lab sample, and F&V just has to do better. That's the bottom line. So then tonight, about 2 hours ago, I got a call from F&V that says they terminated an employee at the wastewater treatment plant. Employee was not happy, departed with all of his keys. He's got all the codes to the buildings and all of that kind of stuff. So We've had to do some emergency work. I know Mike has got a new lock at the wastewater treatment plant, so the employee can't, and I'm not suggesting the employee's gonna do anything, but we don't know. So he can't gain access, but he's got keys to the water treatment facilities, all of them, and the code for the alarm system. So we have taken him out of the SCADA system, so he can't get in and alter anything. We have disabled the alarm, so any punch code you use when you open that door is going to cause the alarm to go off. I've notified the police department. They're going to keep an eye on the water facilities. Again, don't think anything is going to happen, but we want to be on top of this to make sure that nothing does happen.
Do you have cameras over there?
We don't have cameras. We've got locks and we've got alarm systems on the buildings, and that has for many years been sufficient. We could put it in fencing, we could put cameras on it. That's additional cost to water customers, and we've not had any issues. I don't think this will produce any, but those are things we could do in the future.
Dave's always asking for cameras.
I know he is, and I said it's a risk assessment, you know.
I get it.
Have we had any issues? We have had no issues. The alarm goes off mostly because we go in and we can't remember what the code is, and then it trips after a certain amount of minutes. And, you know, so.
Done?
Okay. You want more?
No.
No, that's it. That's it. I think everything is calm and cool and collected now, and I'll work off the WSSS issues, and I think we're on top of the tier 1 and the termination. So I think we're on top of that.
Okay,
So exciting week.
well, stay with it, Ross. Amy, you got something here for us?
Well, our Cape Seal project started today, and for the most part, everything seems to be going well. So we're just excited to see everything, you know.
What do we find out about Morrison Street? Because I heard through the grapevine that wasn't supposed to be on the agenda.
Well, it's always been on the list to get done, but Paul never put it on the paperwork to
Oh.
go out to the different streets, so. Technically, we probably should have sent a letter to everybody in the village, you know.
We talked
Yeah.
to the engineers and that, and they said that the people were very nice.
Oh,
There
yeah,
was really
yeah.
no problem.
Yeah, I spoke.
Because I was kind of worried, you know, because all of a sudden you got this grinder
It's
going
like,
down
hey,
your road.
such a surprise.
But I guess that part went really good.
Yeah, the
That
Morrison
road
looks
was done-
awesome.
that
Just with
road-
the dirt, it looks awesome right now.
It was ground pretty fast, you know,
Yes,
so
that's
that-
amazing.
that part went good.
Yeah, but
You
I'm good.
I do want to add that as part of the project, we are selling water to the contractor, and so the village does make some money back out of it. He needs it for his grinder or whatever.
Okay. Joe?
Yep, I have a copy, code enforcement report for June 2025. Town company, the letters were sent out for vehicles parked on the grass, one on Morrison Street, one on Fair, one on First Street, one on Prospect. This is their second letter being sent. So he was very close to taking action, right, kicking on that one. I sent letters for high grass, 2 on Fulton Street, 1 a house on Coles Crawl, 1 a house on Fulton Street, and an empty lot on Main. He sent letters for inoperable vehicles on Spencer Street. That vehicle is now gone. He sent a letter for sidewalk in disrepair on Burke Street. It has been repaired. He sent a letter for a house in disrepair with debris on the yard on Burke Street. This is the second letter that was sent to that homeowner. And the son says he is working on cleaning it up. He will keep that under observation. Sent letters for garbage on Spencer Street. Garbage is now gone. He sent a letter regarding the retaining wall at Pinkier's and Fifth Third Bank. He got the call saying that the wall belonged to Fifth Third Bank. He then talked with Fifth Third Bank, and they said it's actually already in a bidding process to get it repaired. He spoke with a homeowner regarding the fence in disrepair on Fulton. He also would like to see the posting requirements for addresses on the houses. And that is something that's still in the process of getting it finalized and what we should do and how we can go about it to put the addresses right on the flat, flush front of your house so that emergency vehicles can find your address when it's needed to be located quickly. So we will have probably a report on that. Planning Commission is handling it, and that will probably go pretty quickly after this next meeting.
Joe, I do want to compliment you and Tom for, I know you're digging in, it's not all going to get solved overnight, but.
I didn't hear Floral Street at all.
No, but we're digging in on it, so it's.
That was in June, that was the June report.
This has been
With
going
the
on
car-
for 2
the
years.
car-
I have no idea.
Hey.
I don't know, yep.
There's a car in
We
their
dropped,
grass.
the
and
ball
stuff.
was dropped. We're not disagreeing with that at all, Megan.
Okay. I'm just saying, I didn't hear
And
Floral. They
it's
could
been-
have been for garbage.
You know.
I had to throw, they had like plastic wrapping from shingles that was blowing in my yard. So I put a plywood over it so it would stop going in my yard. Like, literally nothing
I
about
will
Floral
talk to
Street.
him to see if he's actually noticed it and what he's done about it at this point. I will talk to code enforcement.
I'd love to see
It is
Floral
in the
Street
process.
said like for each one of those, because there's a violation there for every other.
You came to the right place.
Does that,
Maybe she talks to him.
There's garbage, there's a car in the grass, there's a boat, there's
It's a mess.
there's
I
toilets,
suggest,
there's 2 toilets outside.
we can't keep going over this, but I suggest everybody ride by there at Floral Street and you can see what she's talking about. Because you would not, none of you would want that
There's no
next
way
to
it
your
would-
property.
There's no way if it was on Fulton or Main Street that it would still look like this.
I know, we cleaned up one a few years ago.
Yeah.
Well,
Well-
I had grass, remember?
That's really not part of our agenda here.
I know,
Mike,
sorry.
you got something on the cards?
Just the master plan, the QR code that Patty talked about. And then the Fritz development, I haven't heard anything more on that, but we have a meeting coming up and hopefully Christina will let us know what's going on.
Okay, my understanding is that we've asked the planner to look at this thing and try to find a way that works with us and them.
Yeah, we can be amicably agreeable to.
Well, they're actually drawing the public in and getting into it from the public, so
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.
Mike?
I'll try and keep it short. They're still working on the flooding and how to resolve that problem. I did talk to Dan about it today, and they're still trying to figure it out, but how to fix this going forward. We talked about cameras as well. The bins came for the garbage, to take the solids and dump them in the thing, and they're working great. That costs, I think, $1, I think is what he said. At the end of the day, it was $1.
Wow.
They did repair a garage door, the relay rusted out, and he's still getting, it's hard for him to get quotes, 3 quotes, but he's trying to get the quotes for the 3 entry doors and 3 window panes, which was in our budget, some part of it. I don't know what the final cost will be. I think that's all I have for you today. I do have an agenda item that I'll tell you about later.
Okay. Yep, go ahead, Ed.
So in addition to your treasurer's report that you get monthly, you also get a copy of the capital improvement plan. It's sort of in a draft form. As I've told all of you, it's kind of a wish list, but it will help each of you to see what the other departments are planning, what's coming up. I'd like to go into it in more detail when we start our budget workshops in January. So kind of have your plan, tweak your sections, and we'll talk about it then. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ed.
Thanks.
Okay, moving on to general business, consent agenda. We have a motion for this?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion's approved. No old business. Moving on to new business. Change order 2 for the 2025 Cape Seal project. Amy?
Yes, when we had our construction meeting last week, the contractor recommended that we add some risers to some of the manhole covers, so that, because when they do the straights right now, they're fluffing it up, and so they're gonna be about 1 inch higher than they were before. So we're gonna add risers to all the manholes, and so of course that's an extra charge. So the cost for that is $3,800, $253.75. Is that, that's not quite
Oh,
right.
no, what is it? Yeah, that is a typo.
That is 38,000, no,
Yeah.
that's nothing.
It's 3,800, no.
38,000?
Yeah, 3823.75.
Okay, yeah.
I got an extra 5 in there.
Yep.
Okay, that's okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make the motion. I move to approve the change order number 2 for the 2025 Cape Sealing Program in the amount of $3,823.75 payable to Pavement Maintenance System LLC for the addition of 19 manhole risers.
Support.
Okay, you want to call roll, please?
Barzak?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Cronin?
Yes.
Dare?
Yes.
Elke?
Yes.
Stir?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to item B, F&B contract extension. I think this was what Ross was alluding to before.
Yeah, I'm suitably embarrassed, but I'm gonna bring it up anyway. Because the reality is, I don't know that we have necessarily any good options at this point. Talked a little bit about this before. Got a contract coming up for renewal, or find somebody else, or modify scope of the current contract in about 9 months. And you got a DPW superintendent who's gonna retire in about 1.5 to 2 years. It makes no sense to renegotiate this or find somebody new without a full understanding of what we want the DPW to do in the future, specifically the superintendent. What are his roles for water versus what do we want F&B to do, or some other vendor. So I think the most prudent thing to not do a bunch of work and then toss it away, you know, in a year to do something different, is to take the current contract and just extend it for a year. No change in terms and conditions, other than F&V will insist upon cost of living increases, material increases, the usual stuff that they do. And in the meantime, set up a committee to start looking at where do we want to go with this. There's several different pathways, all of which will take some time to investigate and bring back to informed council and see what council really wants to do. So I don't want to belabor it too much more. I do agree with you, Jeff. I wrote it quickly, and it sounds like I'm trying to say that we're finalizing a contract. It's not. So
Yeah,
try this out.
Okay, so I just said slight modification, Michelle, go slow.
All right.
So
Solicit
the motion
for-
to authorize the water commissioner to negotiate a 1-year F&B water, wastewater contract extension for the period April 1, 2026 through March 31st, 2027. I think, why don't we just get that one done, and then we can do part B?
Sure.
Do another motion. So that's the motion.
Yes, and I would indicate that the guy we principally deal with, what's Blair's last name? Blair.
Sullivan?
Yeah. Blair's wife passed away, so he's not been in the office. But I've gotten
The sewer.
essentially a 95% there's no reason why they wouldn't do it, but I haven't gotten a guarantee. So all I would do is I would say, give us something in writing that you are willing to do it, and then once we have it back, we can look at terms and conditions. And
The only thing I would say on this, though, both you two should be, because we're talking about his the sewer contract also, aren't we?
Mine's larger.
Yes, but
Quite a bit larger.
Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding is you're generally happy at this point and would not be adverse to a one-year extension.
Correct,
Is-
yes.
Yeah, and then over the intervening 15 months or so before Dave Wagner decides what he's gonna do, we would have some serious conversations about path forward.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that both of you are working on it.
Yeah.
I don't care who, if you both thought we were right,
Yeah.
as long as you agree, both of you agree.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is making a motion to pursue extending the
Pursue,
contract.
Yeah, that, my
Can we make
concern,
that contingent on, I mean, if they come back and say, we want another
That's-
100%
that's exactly
more.
why we're
Yeah.
doing it
Yes.
that way.
Yeah.
So there, no one, this is,
To
my
negotiate.
concern is
Yes.
whenever we approve a
Yes.
contract,
Yep.
the contract
Has
is
to
in
be,
the backup.
Yep.
So you're saying the same thing a different way, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not approving a contract.
This is coming back to council no matter, and in fairness, Ross never intended it not to come back.
Right.
He just went really fast.
I just want to get it, I want to get the question answered, because if we are not going to pursue a potential contract extension, we are already late to start looking at changing the scope. I'm going to change water scope significantly, I have to, right? I got to put the stuff I'm doing, I got to give it to somebody. It's either going to go to a DPW superintendent or F&B or some conglomeration of that. So I have to have these discussions, but it's 9 months now. So all I want to do is, if council is comfortable keeping F&V for one additional year, and I'm going to smack them around because I'm tired of these violations. That is principally what they're here to do, is protect us from that, and they've not done a good job of it, in my mind. I mean, they've been minor and nothing major, but now it's costing us money, and it's costing me grief, and it's costing office staff time. So I want to make sure they get that squared away, but I think that that's the most prudent thing to do now, is just extend the contract and then look at a new contract and DPW situation at the same time, and have that opportunity for a committee to get together and work through that.
So you want to make the motion?
Yeah,
there?
so
Did.
Can you write it one more time?
I'm gonna say what he said.
To
I agree.
authorize the water commissioner to negotiate a one-year F&V water, wastewater, wait, you left all that?
Can we say, water
I was gonna say
/
take the
sewer
water out.
commissioner?
Or maybe say the commissioners or respectful commissioners? Because it's not Rush
Jeff
to
wrote
be
it.
negotiating
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so I said what?
So.
Why don't you authorize both of them? then?
Yeah,
Say water
water
commissioner and
commissioner,
sewer commissioner, and then you're
sewer
covered.
Alright.
Exactly.
Okay, so to authorize water commissioner and sewer commissioner to negotiate a one-year F&V water wastewater contract extension for a period of April 1st, 2026 through March 31st, 2027.
What you said.
All right.
So I have a second to this motion?
I'll support it and then you.
I have a question. I know that F&D has taken on a lot of the responsibilities of the superintendent. How many hours is Dave Wagner spending on that?
I would say F&V has not taken them over. I mean, I've been filling in that gap on water, but, I mean, so they're executing to the current contract scope, which says they have testing and sampling responsibilities. And they communicate with Dave on a fairly regular basis, but they should not be missing this easy stuff. I mean, this is, as Catherine Wynn said today, who's the regional manager, she said, this is simple stuff. We should not be missing this. And I said, I agree, get your people in line. And so she's working on that. And
So F&D has not taken on any more responsibility for the...
no, not really. They have, I would
thought
say,
that was-
backstopped the DPW when Dave Wagner has not been there, because we got good workers, but they're not really able to fill in as a manager when he's gone, so they have backstop, but that's been at no cost to us. They've done that on a couple of occasions.
They do the testing and samples that Ed used to do.
And, yeah, the DPW used to do those, right? Yep.
Well, so we talked about the water system sanitary survey. The 2019 water system sanitary survey said you do not have enough people in your DPW to manage your water system. And you're getting very close to running off the rails, essentially.
But I think what you're saying, Mike, is
So-
that's what you thought we brought
Yeah.
up.
So we brought them on to.
That's what I thought F&V was for.
Yeah, we brought them
That's
on
my
to
question.
relieve the DPW of that. So I always term it as a white collar, blue collar. The white collar is F&V manages the facilities from a chemical standpoint, observe maintenance issues, call attention to maintenance problems. They oversee the treatment of the water, and they do the sampling and testing. That's essentially what they do, and you need to be licensed for that, have laboratories that you're, available, and they need to understand the process. I've been doing this for 6 years now. I still don't fully understand the process. I think I got most of it, but I'm not school trained. I mean, this is just, hey, you're gonna be the water commissioner.
You're it.
Yeah, right? That's how that works.
Mike,
So,
you could have a copy of the contract if you'd like to look at it.
yeah, but they're not really doing, so Dave Widener does the blue collar. He digs the holes, he gets in the holes, he fixes the
Right.
pipes, he flushes the system, turns valves, he does all of that,
All the mechanics.
hands-on maintenance. So F&V is executing to what we had set up. What we have found in 5 years is, and again, I was the dumbest guy in the room. Had Blair from F&V, had Ed Saratowski, he'd been doing it for 43 years, and Ross, what do we want the scope of work to be? So I really didn't know if I was getting it all right. I thought I provided some value added, but we set up that contract, and now we see gaps in it that I'm filling. But I'm not going to be a water commissioner forever, so future contracts, I want to fill those gaps.
Sure.
Somebody has to do it,
Sure.
because a future commissioner is not going to do it.
Well, I think in the future, no matter what you think, we're gonna have to use F&V or somebody similar to that.
I think-
Flint caused a lot of things to happen in the water
Yeah,
department.
fundamentally, if I can leave you with anything before we do the vote, fundamentally, management of water systems in municipalities has significantly changed, and there are quite a few additional requirements now that we have to manage. I wouldn't have expected it 5 years ago, right? So I've been trying to keep up with it. I think we've done a good job. I think we've done a great job upgrading the system and all that, but I just got hit on the top of the head about, where's your water tower,
Ross,
report?
excuse me, but we're getting away from our
Yeah,
motion.
I got it.
We
So,
got a motion on the floor, we
Okay.
need to
Go
vote
ahead.
in that motion.
No roll call.
Okay, does everybody know what the motion is
Yeah.
now here?
Yes.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye. all right, thank you.
Opposed? Motion's
He
approved.
has another motion now, though.
I don't know if it needs to be a motion, but
We'll bring it back, we'll make it.
Dave,
another agenda. Yep.
I would say I would be a lot more comfortable if we joined a committee to get started, because it will always take longer than we
We
think.
can bring that to the next meeting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Okay, you got it.
we can
All
bring
right,
it
thank
back
you.
to the future. I don't know if we need to do that
I
the
think,
next meeting.
I would
But anyhow,
respectfully
we're
disagree.
Well, this is where you get to speak up. Upcoming agenda items. You can add whatever you'd like.
Office copier is coming back, and I say set a committee.
Office copier?
Yeah. We're up for a new one.
What did you want to add now?
To set a committee, to start discussing this stuff.
Discuss, be specific.
To start discussing the F&B contract, what you expect of a new supervisor, what that supervisor's duties will be. All of that figures out how we need to advertise. If you're looking for somebody very specific, we have to go to a trade magazine. I can't advertise for that in the local paper.
We also, we don't even have a date from our
Well, but that doesn't mean that we can't be prepared.
Right.
We were not
Be
prepared when
proactive.
Ed left, even though we had 3 years.
Our motion is that, Mike and I are gonna go out to F&B and say, will you do it or not? We're gonna get that taken care of.
That's that motion, this is the
Yeah.
committee.
Moved on.
But we could bring back a discussion on starting a committee, and it just really, I think it's a
I think it's
no-brainer. It's
important.
Okay,
two
we
of
got
us,
that.
and I would like to have.
We got
those-
that going on the agenda.
Yeah.
It would probably be my recommendation that if that we would go with the 3 commissioners that work with the DPW. Which, that would probably be my recommendation, because we've been talking about this for a while. Which I would have the 3 of you think about it. Now, are there any other things for upcoming agenda items?
I do. SCADA alarm coding with cruise increase.
SCADA alarm, what?
Coding with cruise increase. Cruise is a app.
Yeah,
CRUZ,
CRUIS.
I thought it was. with
UIS.
cruise.
Oh, just
Mike,
cruise.
is this to separate the alarms so they distinctly know
Yes.
which is going
Yes.
off?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, are there any other upcoming agenda items that we know now? Okay, well then moving on. We still have another opening for citizen comments. Would anybody like to speak? Go ahead. If you want to.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, then moving on from citizen comments, council comments.
Concerts in the park. One of the groups that's very popular is going to be here this week. They do classical rock, and they're very good.
Wayward Wind, you need
Wayward
to
Wind.
say their name, they're
Wayward
great.
Wind.
Is there still opportunity to fill out master plan survey, or is that now done?
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, they want it
July
winding
31.
down now, they're hoping,
Yeah, July
yeah,
31st
July.
is-
Okay, after July?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
before
So
that,
you still got
he wants it.
15 days.
I'll get mine done.
Couple of days.
They say July 31.
Yeah, but he was hoping sooner.
Upcoming community events. Well,
Uh,
Mike already mentioned concerts in the park. Are there any other community events?
What's your time horizon? Next month?
What was that?
What's your time horizon? Next month?
For what?
Community announcements.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you've got some, well, I mean, I wouldn't go too far out.
I've got, yeah, all right. I'll wait till August,
Okay.
or the next month.
Okay, therefore, we have no closed session tonight. And I guess I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:48.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Meeting's adjourned.